We have to start the show, of course, with the huge news that broke earlier on this afternoon. Everton have been deducted 10 points for a breach of profit and sustainability rules. talkSPORT senior broadcast journalist Ben Fletcher brings us right up to date with everything that's happened today.
It is the international break, but that hasn't stopped the drama from unfolding in the domestic world of football. Today's been a crazy day for Everton and Everton fans, as earlier this morning, Jim White broke some very serious news.
It's now being confirmed. Everton have been given a 10-point penalty. The punishment applies immediately.
Simon Jordan was alongside Jim and said he believes the sanction is harsh.
It does feel that 10 points is heavy duty. So it becomes an argument about whose accountancy point of view is right. If that's the argument it's turned on, 10 points is a bloody heavy penalty.
Everton interim CEO Colin Chong then responded online, saying the club will fight this as hard as they can for their fans.
Myself and everybody at the club are shocked and disappointed by the ruling of the Premier League Commission. We believe the sanction is disproportionate and wholly unjust. We will be standing up for Evertonians and our great club.
Football finance expert Stefan Borson later joined Jim White and Simon Jordan and said he believes clubs will be concerned that they could receive sporting punishments for breaking FFP rules.
The only proper sanction should be a sporting sanction and not a mere financial sanction. We are in a new realm, and I think a lot of clubs are going to look at this and going to be very concerned.
For Everton, the future remains unclear. The club have confirmed they will appeal the decision, but as it stands, their 10-point deduction leaves them 19th in the Premier League table with just 4 points. It will be tough for them to recover from this.
It's a massive, massive story. It could be incredibly damaging to Everton, not just short-term, but long-term, of course, as well. Let's get more on this, shall we? We are joined by the Chief Sports Reporter from The Times, Martyn Ziegler, joins us. Martyn, hello, good afternoon.
How are we doing, guys? Good to be with you.
We're good. Thank you so much for coming on. There's so many questions I have. I'll start off by asking, I know that Everton, it's just recently come out in the last hour or two, or even as soon as the news broke, that Everton, the club, will appeal this decision. Are they appealing the actual decision or the amount of points deducted? Is that known yet?
I imagine they will be appealing on both. So they'll be appealing against the decision. And then, if the commission or the appeal board decides that they are guilty of that breach, then they will also appeal against the sanction.
Martyn, can I ask you? Do you believe that the punishment's too harsh?
That's a very good question. What do I think about it? I don't know. I think it's about right, actually. If what looking at the reading through the findings. It is quite a sort of big breach. It's like almost £20 million more than they should have, than the losses. And if you look at like Derby County, Sheffield Wednesday in the EFL, what they've done, that they've had similar punishments for similar levels. So to me, it's in that ballpark.
What do you think is going to be their main defence?
Well, I mean, they've argued that they had it was almost like a technicality that's a very minor breach, and that what they wanted as to sort of write off as acceptable losses should have been accepted. Obviously, the regulatory commission didn't accept that, so I guess they'll be arguing that again with the appeal board. Okay,
so just to reiterate, in case people are picking turn on their radio late. That the Premier League clubs are permitted to lose £105 million over a 3-year period, and Everton were found in favour of the Premier League that their losses during that period amounted to £124.5 million. So just shy of £20 million over. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. So that's what the Premier League and the regulatory commission have ruled. Yeah.
Okay. So are you surprised at how quickly it was? My understanding is it's a 5-day hearing that was last month in October. Are you surprised at just how quickly they've come to their findings?
Not really. I think it's sort of I think they knew that I think they're probably under a bit of pressure time-wise. I mean, the Premier League actually, they tried to get this done before the end of last season. I mean, that's in their findings. In March, they applied to the Regulatory Commission for it to be fast-tracked so it could be done by the end of last season. and they failed in that. So I think that I'm pretty sure the regulatory commission realised they couldn't just sit on their hands, and that they were under some pressure to come up with an outcome as soon as possible.
Martyn, I think we know obviously Manchester City are under investigation, and so are Chelsea. Do you think we could see this potentially, once their investigation finishes, it happening to them?
I mean, it's going to be much more serious for Manchester City and Chelsea if their charges are proven. I mean, Manchester City have had 115 charges. Everton just had one. We haven't had the Chelsea is still under investigation, so we don't know the number of charges there. But I think if you look at Manchester City, not only are there a lot more charges, they are a lot more serious. So, I mean, there will be a real fear if you're Manchester City that you're looking at the threat of relegation from the Premier League.
Do you? I mean, listen, we're all guessing here, right? But do you think, because usually my understanding is that when sort of FIFA and UEFA are involved and you've breached certain stipulations, that it's more of a fine than points deduction. Do you think that may be the case with the likes of Man City and Chelsea or not?
No, not at all. Because I mean, if you see what's happened to Everton, how can you possibly give something less than what's happened to Everton with one charge?
It makes no difference that Man City have been playing and Chelsea have been playing in European competition, does it?
No, not at all. This Manchester City and Chelsea. That's all about what they have, things that the accounts they've registered with the Premier League and the Football Association, and if they're found that they've deliberately filed those wrongly over lots of different things and actually breached financial fair play rules as well, then it's a lot more serious than just what Everton have done.
Let me ask you, going back to what you were saying before about the fact they wanted... The findings have only just come out, of course, and the hearing was in October. And I think you alluded to the fact they wanted this done at the end of last season, and now we're into this season. Does that open up a can of worms for the sides that went down, Leeds, Leicester and Southampton? Because they could argue, of course, that if Everton last season would have had a 10-point deduction, they may have stayed up in the Premier League.
It does absolutely open a can of worms. In fact, the Leeds, Leicester City, Southampton, Burnley and Nottingham Forest, they all applied to be part of this sort of complaint against Everton, and because they were seeking compensation as part of that. That attempt, that was also dismissed by a legal panel in May. But I think now, once the appeal process is over, and I've spoken to people involved in this process, that at least 4 of those clubs are one who've been relegated during the time of the 3 years that the Everton accounts cover. They will seek legal action. They will seek compensation in the courts. And if you're looking at clubs, relegation costs them about £100 million. They will be trying to claim some of that back. They'll be looking at what happened in 2009. Sheffield United sued West Ham United over the Carlos Tevez incident. That Sheffield United got relegated. They got a £20 million out-of-court settlement. So I think we've not seen the end of this legally wise from those clubs. And
just finally, just ever so quickly, I'm looking at the league table now. Everton, of course, 19th. They've got a little asterisk by their name, understandably. How long does the appeal process take? And are you surprised that because there will be an appeal process, they've already taken the points off?
No, because I think that's standard practice. I think that's what happens, and then, I mean, I cannot see the appeal process going beyond the end of the season. I think it'll be a month, 2 months maybe, because they're not hearing new evidence. They're going over the same the same evidence.
The only reason I ask that is psychologically for the club and the players and everyone involved. At the moment, Everton are in the bottom 3. They're in a relegation fight already. And if in 4 months' time they're found to reverse their findings, that can have a dramatic effect on not just that club, but the club. It might be Luton in 3 months' time that are pulled back into the bottom 3.
No, yeah, absolutely. But I think that is just how it works.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's how it's worked before in the EFL as well. So, I think you just have to. The Premier League would just have to follow standard practice on that.
Okay. Martyn, for the time being, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
There you go, the wonderful Martyn Ziegler, as I said, the chief sports reporter for The Times.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.